Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. I'm Rajarshi Das. Welcome to Hare Krishna today. On today's program, we're going to discuss about the purpose of this valuable human form of life. Yes, it is essential that in the beginning we actually know what's the purpose of life. Now, if we don't know what is the purpose of this valuable human form of life, then we could waste a whole lifetime. Yes, waste a whole valuable human lifetime and not achieve the highest benefit, which is eternal life. But is that all? Srila Prabhupada said disturbance is due to want of the ultimate goal. In other words, when people don't know what is the ultimate goal of life, then they get caught up in things that bring about disturbance and suffering. They say if you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. In other words, if we do not know who we are and what we are supposed to be doing, we will do nonsense. If you don't know who you are, just like if you see a madman on the street, there is some identity crisis. He's not conscious, not aware of his identity. Then he doesn't know what he's supposed to do. He's not thinking, well, I have to go to work at this time. I am the boss of this company. He doesn't know. So when the souls in this world, when we are caught up in illusion, and we are not conscious, we are not aware of our identity, then under the spell of Maya or illusion, we have false concepts of ourselves. Yes, Krishna says in the Gita, Tribhir guna mayair bhavairebhi sarvamidang jagat mohitang nabi janati mamebhya paramavyayam. He says that the whole world, Tribhir guna mayair bhavair, the whole world is deluded. Yes, the whole world is deluded by the three gunas, the three modes of material nature. And the result, Krishna says, mohitang nabhijanati. Due to this illusion, the souls in this world, they do not know me, the source of everything. That is the spell of Maya or illusion. That the souls under the spell of illusion, they think, I am a product of the three modes. Yes, they think. I am this body. I am black. I am white. I am boy. I am girl. I am man. I am woman. Now these grave misconceptions, these false designations, assign false goals, objectives, duties to us. Yes, based on our misconception, we live a life according to this misconception. Yes. And we would fight with those who have different identity and different ideologies. Yes. So to not know the purpose of the human form of life is very dangerous. Now, how do you go about understanding the purpose of the human form of life? The first thing we should try to understand, the Vedas says, what's the difference between human life and animal life? In other words, if we don't want to descend to the animal platform, at least we should know what is human life and what is animal life. How is human life distinguished from animal life? That's important. Therefore, the Vedas says these four qualities: ahara, nidra, bhaya, maithun. That's eating, sleeping, mating, and defense. These four activities are indulged in by the animals and by humans also. It says, samanyamitat. Sama means it is common to both humans and the animals. Samanyamitat pashubhi naranam. Animals eat, sleep, mate, and defend, and as human beings, we do that also. However, dharmo hitesham adhiko vishesh. The one quality that distinguishes a human being from an animal is called dharma, or the understanding of his duty. Yes. When the human being understands that I am not independent, I am interdependent. Yes. When a person understands, oh, wait a minute, I am utilizing electricity, I am paying electricity bill. I utilize water, I pay some water bill. I'm using telephone, I'm paying telephone bill. Well, when a human being wakes up and become conscious, wait a minute, I am breathing air all the time. Who pays that bill? Rain is falling, this water is coming. Who is paying that bill? This sunlight, this sunshine that is keeping me healthy and providing. Who is paying that bill? So, when a human being wakes up and understands, I have some obligation, now he is distinguished from the animals. Yes, that's the distinguishing point. Suppose some animal, some cow, gets it into the marketplace and you got spinach there. You have vegetables. The cow comes in. Cow just eats. But if a human being comes into the marketplace and he sees vegetables, then the difference is the human being would ask, whom does this belong to? What does it cost? Yes, that's human being. The animal would just come and consume. But the human being knows, I have some obligation. This belongs to someone. Someone is supplying. I have to offer something. So dharmo hitesham adhiko vishesh. The one thing that distinguishes the human being from animals is that ability to know God and to reciprocate with God. That's human being. Otherwise, the Vedas says, we are dui padi pashu, a two-legged beast. It sounds like insult, right? But it is not. If we spend our whole life just eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, then we die just like a dog and cat. Therefore, the scripture says that Lord Rishabhadev speaking to his son says, Nayam deho deha bhajam nriloki kashtan kaman arhati vidbhujam ye tapo divyam putraka yena sattvam shudhyadyasmad brahmasaukyam tu anantam. Of all the souls in this world that have received material bodies, yes, there are 8,400,000 species of life. So of all the souls that have received bodies, whether it be plant body, bird body, insect body, they are all spirit souls within these bodies. So of all souls that have received bodies in this world, the souls that have received a human form should not labor hard day and night, just like the vidbhujas. Vidbhuja mean in Sanskrit stool eaters, the dogs and hogs. They're just busy running about every day. Where is some food? Where is some sex? That's the consciousness of the lower animals. But a human being should not be running about day and night just with the same consciousness as the dogs and hogs. Instead, tapodivyam. Tapodivyam means instead he should perform divine austerity. Tapasya means penance. Penance means to undergo difficulty to get a greater gain. Or as we say, no pain, no gain. Yes. If someone just remains a bum on the street, he can sell some bottle and get a few quarters. Yes. He's getting immediate money. But someone may go to medical school for many, many years. That's great austerity, great penance. But then you will have a bright future, you will have something prosperous. So they said the human being, tapodivyam, he should be bold and brave and willing to undergo penance. What for? Shudhid, for the purification of the consciousness. Shudhid, to bring about Brahma Saukyam to Anantam. Brahma Sukha means spiritual happiness to Anantam, that is unending, that is eternal. That's human life. To be willing to undergo some penance, some difficulty to bring about permanent happiness, eternal happiness. Brahma Saukyam to Anantam. Ananta means unending, unlimited pleasure. That's human life, to be endeavoring to bring about permanent happiness that is unending. So, When we're speaking about the purpose of human life, we must be willing to undergo some penance, some austerity. Now it begins with the austerity of the body, the senses, the mind. Yes, because this tendency is there to be a slave of the senses. That tendency is there because of our conditioned nature. We have a tendency, we want to eat any and everything without restriction. We have a tendency to hear any and everything. In Bhagavad Gita, Srila Prabhupada, in his commentary, he said, one should not hear like the dogs and hogs, meaning he shouldn't be indiscriminate in his hearing. We should be careful as to what we're hearing, what we're taking in. Because not everything that appears appealing and attractive is good for us. They may further pollute and contaminate our consciousness. Because the scripture says, Dhyayato vishayan pungsa sangashteshu pajayate sangat sanjayate kama kamat krodho bijayate. That while you contemplate the objects of the senses, a person develops attachment for them. And from this attachment, lust, this burning desire for enjoyment is manifest from that contemplation. But when that lust is not satisfied, then krodha, anger becomes manifest. We know how people, when they don't get their senses satisfied, not only little kids, yes, little kids, we know. Someone takes away your candy and then you just trip off. Well, it happens to big people also. When they don't get their senses gratified, they become angry. Yes. So austerity, penance, begins. It said the first business of a yogi, a spiritualist, a transcendentalist is to regulate the senses and the mind. We cannot stop. You cannot stop the senses. You cannot stop eating, stop seeing, stop hearing. But yoga practice means to do so in a purified way, according to that which is pleasing to God. Yes, that's the criteria for performing any activity. It must be pleasing to God. In other words, what is sinful? Any thought, any word, any action that is not pleasing to God, that's sinful. That's sinful. Things done for our own sense gratification, that is sinful. So everything has to be done for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord. Someone may say, but what about me? Everything for Him? Nothing for me? Well, if we understand the science of how it works, when we serve God, automatically we become happy because we are part and parcel of God. Just like this physical body. Yes, just like this physical body. This physical body has different parts. The hands. Hands are part of the body. And the hands can only be nourished and be happy by feeding the stomach. If the hands decide, look, We are only working very hard and this mouth is only enjoying, only eating. We're not going to feed the stomach anymore. We're going to eat the food ourselves. So 2 hands on the plate, trying to eat the food, no business. But if the hands feed the stomach, automatically the hands are nourished and strengthened. We being part and parcel of God, when we serve Him, by yoga means to link. And it begins Jivado, with the tongue, chanting the names of God, glorifying God. When we do so, then we bring about real happiness. Now someone may say, why I don't have to contact God to be happy? I just go to the bar and I get a beer, I drink some whiskey, I'm happy. That's illusory pleasure. That's illusory happiness. Momentary pleasure. Real pleasure, real happiness is on the spiritual platform. After establishing our identity, after having clear understanding of our identity that I am an eternal soul, I am not this temporary physical body. When we know that I am an eternal soul, and God is the supreme person, the supreme soul, and when we understand our eternal relationship with Him, then all of our thoughts, words, and actions are aligned. It is directed to God. That's called yoga practice. To serve God with our thoughts, words, and deeds, that is real yoga. Linking up with Him. So Ramante yogi no nante satyanande charatmani iti rama padena param brahma vidyati. The devotees are called yogis in devotion because whatever they do, they have to eat, they prepare food with love and devotion, offering it first to God, then they consume. The devotee, whatever he sees, it is in the service of God and for His pleasure. So this idea of understanding the self and the supreme self, God, and the relationship, when that is established, when we have clear understanding, I am an eternal spirit soul, God is the eternal supreme person, then we understand all my duties, all my thoughts, words, and activities are meant to be aligned, to be linked with Him, the reservoir of all pleasure. And as long as we don't get that clear, in illusion, our thoughts, words, and actions are simply geared towards contacting the objects of this world. And every action produces a reaction, yes, a binding result that sentences us to another material body. Why that came about? Because the soul is thinking, I am the controller and I am the enjoyer. So when we go about with that mentality of thinking I am the controller and enjoyer of this world, then Sad Asad Yoni Janmashu. We contact the material nature in 3 modes: goodness, passion, and ignorance. And by that contact, every action produces a reaction. If it is in goodness, you get a good result. If it's in the mode of passion, you get a reaction in the mode of passion. It's an activity in the mode of ignorance, you get a reaction in the mode of ignorance. So, our thoughts, words, and deeds must be aligned with God. That is the purpose of the human form of life. To do everything for God's pleasure. And then automatically, just as the hands serving the stomach, automatically the hands are nourished. So too, God is the reservoir of all pleasure. When we don't when we are not in touch with the reservoir of all pleasure, then you have to hang on a crutch. If you break your leg, you have to hang on a crutch. When we don't have God, then we're always looking in this world. This person will make me happy. Oh, no, this person is not as nice as I thought they were. Let me try this one. Let me try that one. And so lifetime after lifetime, we're taking on bodies, one body after another, 8,400,000 species. We're going on in this world, birth after birth, trying to be happy in illusion. So real human life means to wake up. Who am I? Where have I come from? What am I doing here? Where am I going after death? Who is God? What is my duty towards God? When we know this, then we'll take up the simple process, chanting the names of God. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. By this simple process, we can awaken the soul's original spiritual consciousness, Krishna consciousness. This chanting will dissipate all the illusions, bodily illusion, bodily connections, remove all the unwanted things, and we can experience complete natural spiritual happiness. I'm Rajarshi Das saying Hare Krishna, and do join us again next week for another presentation.
Krishna